Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the AngelOfThyNight radio show, sponsored by Lord Rick. All our shows are pre-recorded. It's much similar as me sending out a voicemail, but the only difference is that now we can discuss certain topics. They'll stay up on the website, and millions of people will get to listen to them. Tonight we're going to discuss a variety of topics. We're going to discuss my bid, which goes out to television producers and highest bidders. I'll explain more about that. I thought a good opener for the show would be to discuss an article that came out. And the article basically stated why everybody's jumping on the bandwagon who's involved in ghosts. Just about everybody is ghost busting or exploring, even Granny in the kitchen. With that in mind, what the article's trying to say is that a lot of people are jumping on the bandwagon. And, these people have no idea what they're doing, but they're going in these places, they're vandalizing them, they're trespassing, they're taking off the boards, breaking windows. It's not only that, but they're disrespecting the paranormal itself. A lot of these sites that are doing it, they have no goals, they have no directives. So I sort of wanted to discuss a few other groups out there, and that way everybody and all my fans can kind of understand, the difference between what the Paranormal Ghost Society does as opposed to some other group. The one thing that I enjoy is the paranormal. I've been doing it for years. I just went through our site statistics, and we've had over 30 million hits in the last 4 years. It's not a lot, but it's a lot more than most sites that are out there. We're very successful at what we do. We've passed 700 investigations. We just recently visited a police department. It did have a little bit of activity in it. Not always about the photos. I'm not always about orbs. I'm not always about ectoplasm. Sometimes we go in these places, we get objects thrown at us. These things happen. Working with the dead is a lot like working with people, but there's less drama with the dead. Anyhow, the first group we're going to discuss tonight, to our millions of viewers that are out there, because this is going to stay up on the site for years to come, and I'm going to everything pre-recorded. And as you know, some of my fans know that we faced a lot of libeling, harassment, threats towards my kids, threats towards me, people laughing at my friend's death, fake profiles, and now I'm going to address some of those issues because I want the world to see them and to learn the absolute truth. And we're going to start with the first group. We're going to discuss a couple. We're not going to do too many. First one is an urban exploring site called UER.ca. I addressed a voicemail about this. It's owned by Alex Hess, who's up in Toronto, Ontario. I have his address, I have his phone number if anybody would like to get in touch with him. That shouldn't be a problem. Just like I have most of the addresses and phone numbers who belong to that, and who basically go around and they harass other paranormal organizations. Many reasons why. Let me first off start taking it member by member. Okay. Alex. He has what we call a disclaimer on his site, made to protect him. It's only good if you follow it. If you break it, it's still civil and litigations can occur. Alex, for example, for the last 4 to 5 years has been making hundreds and hundreds of dollars a month in order to host people's pictures. Okay. Why does anybody need a site to host their pictures on? What's wrong, people? Aren't you members on there capable of having your own sites? Or do you have a need to have someone host it for you? When you look at it, sounds like to me, it's about insecurity. You got some guy, Black Hawk, who has about 100 messages about me on the forum. He'd like to see me on Cops. Said it would be priceless. Maybe even seeing me on Date Night Sting would be very creepy. But Blackhawk, of course, you know, the funny thing is, he didn't know who the hell I was till last week. But yet, he's got a month worth of messages. And you're right, my voicemails are priceless. And you're right, I'm not coming to OPEX. You know why I'm not coming to OPEX, Blackhawk? Because Blackhawk would go down if I was there. Oh, do you know why else? Speaking of OPEX, does anybody know what OPEX is? Convention. Convention of Urban Explorers. I'm not an urban explorer. I'm a paranormal investigator. I'm an adventurer. I don't thrive on trespassing. I don't need the trespass. Spend a lot of time up in the mountains and in the woods looking for Bigfoot. Spend a lot of time in haunted houses. I don't have a need to go to a camping area of about 50 to 100 people who think that they're going to gang up on me. So, of course, about a week ago, me, the founder, Lord Rick, received an email. The email was willing to pay me so much to go to OPEX, to camp out with people like Blackhawk and GeoViolator. Maybe some of you have heard those names. I mean, they go around a lot of forums and they harass people because they got nothing better to do. Funny thing is now that I run the radio show, I'm going to be able to get this out to thousands and thousands and thousands of people. And I'm going to get support. And I'm going to get enough support and enough fans and enough people involved that we're not going to have to worry about these sort of things anymore. But I stand my ground strong. OPEX. What's it about? Climbing fences? There's obviously no rock and roll, no drugs allowed, no booze. Do you know why that convention doesn't allow any drinking? I'll tell you why. Very simple. You have a bunch of teenagers, people who are not even legal, attending. And what they want to do is they want to take the entire city of Western New York, they want to take all these people from the convention and bring them to these places. Places that are haunted. Should we respect the dead? Yes, we should. Everybody dies. Ghosts all around us. That's part of life. But when you ask me why don't I get pictures of ghosts, it's simple. You don't respect the dead. So, bye-bye Blackhawk, Blackhawk down, whatever. And we go on to Alex. Going back to what I was saying, he's got this disclaimer on his site, no flaming, all this stuff, but then you go on his site and you see 500 messages about me and about other paranormal leaders, and you see my MySpace blogs posted on there and personal ads and photos of my children, and then you think, hey, I actually got real proof that he's been swindling all his members out of money. Let me explain something to the American public who view this and listen in. If you go to www.avbrand.com/home, you'll see a photo of the founder of UER. You'll see what all his funding goes towards. I don't need to say no more. Enjoy. Sorry, Alex, buddy, but when I asked you to remove my son's photo very nicely, you refused. Now I think the public has a right to know that you've been swindling your members for 4 years. On to the next person. Ophelia-ism. Yeah, I can see clearly now that your brain is gone. I enjoy the fact that you like to stalk me online. That's great. It means you love my work. See, all the people that dislike me, if you laugh, you'll like me. All the people who hate me, they say they hate me, but deep down inside, you're all fans of my work. That's because you can never be like me. There's only one Lord Rick. And I have to admit Opheliaism. Actually, I do have a clue. And I've had a clue since the beginning of April 4th. Wasn't that when I received that beautiful picture of Lord Rick Rules at a abandoned location? You know, that's considered vandalism. I have enough proof to forward that email in your post to the police department. By the way, I did like your bunny ears. They look very, very nice. Actually quite stunning for the Lord Rick. But sad to say, I'm really not into somebody who has crooked teeth. Kind of scary. I know zombies that are cuter than that. And we have another member. His name's Watcher. Boom, 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 boom. Be careful of the Watcher, because he's watching you. He'll look at your pictures. He'll browse your MySpace. He might even create a fake MySpace about you. But Watcher's always watching. And sorry, buddy, but you know, I can't blame it on the devil or gray aliens. Some say I am the devil. If I wasn't, how would I know about your little secret private messages on UER? Oh, that's right. Lord Rick knows a lot of different things. And one thing I know is that the paranormal is something that should be honored, respected, and loved. Another thing I know is that about 5 years ago, we were walking to Gudelberg Cemetery with me, Jason, Mark, and Robert Carr. Robert was a great guy. He had a girlfriend, he was about to go to school, drug-free, very pure, very good person, very good family. I never have nothing bad to say. He helped me when I did Central Terminal Railroad Station. And then he came out 2 weeks later, was walking next to me, and he got killed. Truck missed me by about a foot. And it saddens me because he was a good guy, and there just isn't that many good explorers like him out there. You know, the good ones go. And I'll miss him. He'll always be with me in spirit. But then we go, you know, we browse the net and we see all these hate sites, and it's so low that they talk about him when he's never done anything to harm anybody. You know, he died because he believed in exploration. He didn't believe in the paranormal. He liked to explore places. And that's what separated me and him. That's what made us friends. Because not everybody can share the same beliefs that I share. But at least he respected them. Much like I respect every group out there until they libel it, or they steal my child's photos and put them up, or they do impersonation profiles, or they get into my personal life when that really has nothing to do with exploring or the paranormal. Then we got a member of UER. It's a Paisley thing. She goes by Paisley. According to her, I'm an ass. I know you think that's funny, right? Well, you did actually do it to me. I didn't post your child's photos on my site. I haven't created impersonation profiles about you. And as far as me being dumb, I wouldn't be so sure about that. Because as a matter of fact, I'm pretty far from dumb. See, I let people think I'm dumb. And then I get them right where they want. Kind of just like I just got you on the spot. To about 1 million viewers. Also, just so you know, slander's spoken and libel's written. So how did I slander you? And since you really don't know me, how am I a moron? Because of, well, wait, I know. Because you're 36 years old and you read something from a 13-year-old on a board. A 13-year-old who can't buy alcohol, buy cigarettes. 13-year-old who hasn't even gotten to puberty is making fun of a grown man with children. And you jump on the bandwagon? Sad to say, I blocked you on MySpace, along with your 50 other ugly friends. And I'm not talking about ugly on the outside, but you guys are sure ugly on the inside. And then you wonder why you can't get photos of ghosts in these paranormal places. You know, to get photos of ghosts, you really got to put yourself out there. This goes out towards my members. You don't just get ghost photos. This is something that takes years to develop. It takes practice. It takes sense. But it also takes a pure heart. Because if you got a dark heart, what would make you so special for the ghosties to come around and have a photo taken? That's right. You wrote me a couple weeks ago and you asked me to check out some of your paranormal photos. Why? So you could share them with UER, the group that has threatened me, threatened my kids. Oh, wait. I'm a liar about it. Lord Rick just like to sit here and lie all day. Sorry, but I'm a family man. And most of my time is spent with my children and dedicated towards my fans, which I love. I love my fans. And those 8 million hits we've had this year, I love y'all. You know, this is something that I'd like to take the time, and I'd like to make the paranormal community know we're very successful, and nothing's going to stop us. So I'm sorry to disappoint those that dislike me. But if you're laughing at this, like I said, you're fans of our work. If you're listening to this, you're fans of our work. Lastly, for the person that said I'm unfit as a parent, oh, Paisley. I have 3 healthy sons. They're fed, they get good grades in school, they play hockey. My one son took on a 300-pound roommate. My kids are very mannered and very respectful. My kids get up every morning, fix their own breakfast, and go to school. Go ahead and call child services. What are you going to tell them? I hear rumors on the internet that Lord Rick is not a good father. You should be ashamed of yourself. And I'm very proud of your message, because now I get to take a little bit of active interest in you guys. And when I come at you, I will come at you with interest. Oh, and then, you know, you got to watch a person by the name of Nick Sand. Did I ban you, Nick? Because from what I recall on the forum, I banned you twice on my message board. So what you're saying is you have 2 separate accounts. You joined my group 2 times. Why would you join a group you don't like? You must like me. Oh, wait. According to your message, I harass you guys. Is this harassment, fans? I don't think it's harassment. I think it's called being outspoken and addressing issues. I also think, in a way, this is pure entertainment. It's a radio show. There's no barring of what I can say here, because it's a free country. And see, we got people out there libeling me, but the difference is I'm speaking the truth to you. Then we got this guy called Kubla Khan. All he talks about on that board is how he wishes I would commit suicide. Are you out of your mind? Why would I commit suicide? I am Lord Rick. You will understand that. I am the owner. I am the founder. I have done 700 and something investigations in a few years' time. I have climbed ships, cliffs, waterfalls. I have fought off alligators and black bear. I have almost gotten killed. I just got done almost being hospitalized from an infection because I got cut in the woods. Suicide? Jeez, you know, get your head checked. And then we have a guy named Geo Violator. Oh man, you talk about a jealous person. Geo Violator, who is he? No photos, no website. But, you know, he does his research very well. He's good at finding all my secret little home pages out. A home page that's 11 years. I didn't even write half of it. You know, it's very old, but he likes to post in my guest book the home page over and over and over. Loves to post it on the news. Why? Because he just has no life. Now, if he focused a little more on exploring instead of me, he might actually be a halfway decent explorer. But he seems to be worried about me coming to OPEX. What's wrong, NGO Violator? Are you scared? Sounds like it to me. Oh, wait. That's because you have about 50 other people to back you up. Weren't you the one who made the comment about my friend Robert Carr who was killed? Here is exactly what you said. Oh, one other thing. You're now on his really bad list, along with NASA, NSA, and drunk guys that killed his friends for sport. Well, you know, I couldn't make sense of it because it's like you're talking to yourself. At least you highlighted it so that everybody would see it. Well, first off and foremost, my friend wasn't killed for sport. Was killed by a woman drinking. She was at the bar and she was mixing medicine along with booze, and she hit him and she kept going. You are not on my bad list. You're on my shit list. Oops, did I say that? I'm sorry. Do you know why? When I read your little message about OPEX, I refused you. I turned OPEX down. Why? Because I got better things to do. I'm so much better than you. Why would I show? It's like waste of time. I'm gonna show and climb some fence to impress you? Kind of boring. If you're gonna have me do something, might as well have me swim over by Niagara Falls. Give me something challenging. You know, how about that for sport? And my little orb? Well, you know, I never said I believe that all orbs are real. I merely, for most of my fans, I merely post the evidence. It's up to you whether you choose to believe it or not. You believe it, fine. If you don't look at it. That's my advice to you. Then we got another one called Underdark. He wants to be my friend. You know, because obviously he must be intrigued with me. And he seems to be obsessed with the idea that Lord Rick is on SSI. I didn't know I was on disability. I suffer from a few problems, but I'm not on disability, even if I was. What does that have to do with exploring in the paranormal? But I know I know this Underdark person's been posting porn in my guest book. He's the one that's been posting the messages, you know, and that's fine. You know, if you want to be a pedophile and let children see this type of material, it tells me a lot about your character and the board that you're on. Oh, and then we have someone who's a real Romeo, hydrotherapy. Always obsessed with who I'm dating at the time. Always looking at my blog to see which woman's next. Last woman named Millie. Really cared about her. But, you know, she's a very religious person, and she has certain rules I gotta respect and that she's gotta follow. But of course UER made it their business. What's it have to do with the paranormal? Nothing. But UER, you guys know that they're trying to become a little more paranormal friendly. And of course that's why there's over 1,000 messages about me on their forum. Isn't that wonderful, guys? So truly, I'm a pretty famous guy, and I owe it all to them. And then we're going to go to our last member of UER for the day, so we can move on with the show, named Samurai. He wants me to throw myself in front of a truck. Why would I do that? I have 3 kids I love. I love living life. I love life itself. I'm not as miserable as you think. You know, we all have our own demons we have to fight and we have to deal with. If you want to be part of that, be my guest. I'll invite you over right now. But my opinion about UER, I'll tell you what my opinion is. All it is another typical forum. Sure, it's got a lot of members. Sure, it's got a lot of hits. But it's all repetitious. As soon as someone posts, they get right away. There's flame posts, there's drama. And of course you gotta understand the founder of it, he's a real drama queen. I mean, you know, if you say anything, he'll cry his eyes out. You know, and they say that anybody who commits this type of activity online is usually insecure with themselves, miserable with themselves, maybe even jealous. Some of you are obsessed with my children because you know why? Because some of you don't have children. Some of you are obsessed with my site. The reason why? You don't have a site. Perhaps it's why you found a place to belong. UER. A site that has no goals. A site that has no directive. A site that'll host your pictures. Your work. Your own work. Hosted on a site. Basically it's saying, here, I'll do the work for you and post my pictures on your site. You know, talk about lame. At least the Paranormal and Ghost Society, we have goals. We've done television shows, newspaper articles. Talked to a lot of good people out there. I've talked to authors. Speaking of authors, one of them was Lauren Coleman. And I've met producers in my time, and I've met with some editors, a lot more recently. We got a television show probably coming up. Anything we're going to do is going to grab the public's interest. Because we're all about multiple different things. We're not just about ghosts. We're about Bigfoot. We're about UFOs. We're about exploration. We're about haunted places. A little bit of everything. And of course, I love my work. And I'd put my life on the line for it any day. Because it's a noble cause. But there are some people out there who are dreamers. Sit on MySpace, they sit on forums like mine all the time, and they lurk. Or they sit on boards like UER.ca, where they bash other people because they can't be like that explorer, or they can't be like me. So they have a need to play these games and go spray paint a building and tell me they're fans of mine, and sit there and read my blogs about my heartache in the past. But I'm Lord Rick, and I rock. It isn't about ego. It's about I know what I'm good at doing. And when you take over 50,000 photos, you run a site for 5 years with thousands and thousands of members and millions of hits, you gotta be doing something right. I just made the front page of the newspaper a few months ago. Very rarely does a paranormal organization ever get the front page of a newspaper. I got a lot of achievements under my belt, and nobody's ever going to take them away. Speaking of somebody who thought they could take them away, we got another organization called the OddEmpire.org. Oh, this is a real kicker. I declined to do the interview for the guy because basically his site libels a lot of different organizations and exploration groups. What he does is he'll interview the founders, then he'll turn around and he'll write an article about how fraudulent they are, or you know, how silly their beliefs are, and basically that's what his site's about. Libel. Okay, I'm not going to do the guy's interview. Speaking of the guy's interview, his name is Guy. And if anybody needs personal information, I'll be more than happy to give it to you. Because it's public information, and there's nothing he can do about it. Well, of course, with the public information and all the little warning sites that are out there, he sends to my P.O. box a letter saying he's going to take me to court. Pretty funny guy when the tables are turned. How's it feel? But anyways, according to the guy, he's on UER.ca too. And, he's seems to be obsessed with me having sex with the skunk ape. You guys know what skunk ape is? What it is it's a Bigfoot cousin. It's technically a little bit smaller in size, therefore it makes up for it with heavy aggression. Skunk ape is usually black. Most of the time it's in the Everglades, but I've had encounters up here near my house. And he claims I'm having sex with the skunk ape. If I was having sex with the skunk ape, I would be rich. Okay, because I would have its DNA. And I would be able to get samples and prove that there is something unknown in the state of Florida. So, my friend, I'm sorry to disappoint you. I'm also sorry that you'll never get that interview that you wanted. Of course, what kind of organization asks questions about people's kids and their personal life? If you're going to give a paranormal interview, at least stick to the paranormal. It's my advice to you. If I were you, I'd probably shut your site down. Because honestly, nobody's really interested in reading it. Your site is nothing but pure entertainment. And I know that you've been libeling me, and that's fine. Because you know why? I didn't give you the interview. I turned you down. Lastly, I'd like to say before we got on this paranormal topic, in the last couple of weeks I've been on MySpace. I've had a lot of these people try to add me. For some reason, they don't want to be my friend, but they're adding me. Sorry guys, but I denied friendship with you. I just think it's hilarious. It's just like we had a lady from this group, or from one of these hate sites, and the lady creates a paranormal profile, tries to make herself look good in the photos. She loves me. All of a sudden she loves me. Like, come on, what kind of farce is that? Give it up. Lord Rick's not interested. Sorry to burst your bubble. The only thing I am interested in is friendship, truth, and adventure. The Paranormal and Ghost Society's model. And that is what I'm going to bring to you. The Paranormal and Ghost Society is the most eccentric, open-minded paranormal organization in the world. We will do anything. Speaking of anything, recently I put a $1 million bid in. What this means is that any television producers, sponsors, gamblers that are into these survival type of games, I want you to sponsor me for $1 million. What this means is that we will sit down together and we will pick a place, one of the most dangerous, deadly, paranormal hotspots in the world. I'm not talking about a cemetery. I'm not talking about a haunted house. I'm talking something that's very dangerous. The catacombs under Europe, or Paris we say. Or there's this cavern up in Tibet that's locked up. Might go for 100 miles. Supposed to be a demon locked in there. But I want something that includes a lot of risk. I don't want to be paid $1 million. I want to be sponsored, provided with the proper equipment for the trip, depending on what sort of paranormal hotspot we plan. And if I walk out of that place, it has to be a 0 to none chance that I will live. But if I walk out of that place, I get the $1 million. And basically what I'm saying is that, we would set how long I would be down there, the fact that I'd have to get certain pictures throughout the trip, maybe video recordings, all that. It would, obviously to prove that this had happened. What I'd really like is to have a TV crew follow me around on this for the entire adventure. They can keep their distance because of the dangers involved. Actually, they're going to be involved in danger too. So basically what I would do is I would put together a small team to assist me with this trip. I want something that nobody can take away. You know, I get authors that steal from me. I get TV producers that, you know, go to places I've already been to. We get members, you know, who steal, you know, photos and they put it on their site. And, you know, even though it's copywritten and it's there, it's the point is, you know, least you can do is ask. Or, you know, at least drop by a banner or a link or something. So I want something that somebody can't take away. I'm not asking you to pay me $1 million. I'm telling you I'm going to defy the place you sent me for $1 million. You know, I want something that's going to be worth the whole world seeing. If you're a producer and you produce this, you're going to make a lot of money. But the whole thing is I want to be sponsored. And, you know, if something were to happen to me, I'd like at least 15% royalties to go to my children. But if I succeed, everything that I am sponsored for, I get to keep. But I want something that the odds are 0 to none. You know, we're talking jungles, temples, something that's going to be a very difficult trip in one of the most evil, whether it's haunted, paranormal hotspots, something adventurous, something that I'll be gone a whole week, 2 weeks doing. You know, and if you want to get in touch with me and you want to produce it, and you think that you can sponsor me for this, the highest bidder, I will take the offer on. I'm not doing this for the money. I'm doing this to show the world how committed I am to the paranormal and the type of founder I am. I'm doing this to make a difference. You know, it's my life that's on the line. And God knows, your man Alex Hess, he ain't going to put his life on the line. He's not going to go to Tibet. He's not going to roam the jungles of South America. And he certainly is not going to venture into the Hollow Earth or some ancient temple. But being Lord Rick, I will. So if you want to produce this and get sponsorship, we can sit down, we can work out a contract, we can talk a little bit about this more. You're not going to be disappointed. I can almost do anything possible. Anything you put me up to, I almost can get done. Doesn't matter what place it is to explore, how haunted it is, how much UFO activity, how dangerous. I believe that I can show other people that I'm good at what I do. That is why I want the odds of living 0 to none. To show people that when you put your heart in something, you can actually do it and produce results. So that's the $1 million challenge I got going on. I just need bidders. I got TV producers that are on my membership list. Go ahead, contact me if you're interested. To finish the show off, I'd like to at least discuss a couple articles that went on this week. One of them was about a Bigfoot video. And, you know, you study the video a little more. It looks like a human being walking with a cane. Not saying it is, but it looks that way. Unfortunately, this is what the paranormal has come down to. It's got a lot of people making a mockery of it, and people are doing anything they can to make money. You know, we went with subscriptions to prevent the places from being vandalized, the stalking, the threatening from UER, things of that sort. We'd rather have our members pay for a membership and appreciate what we do, rather than just go to the site for free, browse it, and not have any appreciation. Those that fraud the paranormal, they have no appreciation for it. The Native American people, yeah, they spent thousands of years, actually respecting the paranormal, respecting nature, the trees, the spirits, the wild man of the woods, but they respect it. Now we got a bunch of new Bigfoot videos arising. None of them look real. Are they real? Look at them. You know, if you're on my forum, chances are if you're browsing the internet radio tonight and you're looking at the show and thinking about it, then you've seen the article and the video I sent out. It's, you know, looks like a man walking with a cane. You know, maybe it's not. But the truth is what makes people believe in Bigfoot less is when others go around frauding him. We've done a lot of Bigfoot investigations. I found a track up in the woods, 18 inches. It was hidden in a brush, in some brush. It was very deep. It had toes, very wide. I didn't have anything to make a cast of it, but I found it up in the Pennsylvania mountains. Creature exists, but I'm afraid with all the forests being cut down and government conspiracies and people frauding him, we're never going to find him, because this creature's either going to die out or it's going to go into permanent hiding. So, you know, those people frauding it, they need to stop. That's my take. And what about that information on the sea serpent sighted in Florida? I mean, that's just crazy. A 7 to 12 foot serpent that was seen kind of looked like a worm. You know, there's freak accidents where eels can get really large. Is it paranormal? I don't know. I know that there's sea monsters sighted all over the world. I know that the ocean goes for miles underwater. There's no limit to what is in the ocean. Anything could be down in them trenches. Anything could arise. We're always discovering new species. So I want you sort of to keep an open mind when it comes to cryptozoology. Cryptozoology doesn't necessarily mean it's paranormal. It means it's unclassified and unknown yet. But even me, I'm not just a parapsychologist. I'm a cryptozoologist. I'm an adventurer. I'm an explorer. I'm a lot of different things. Because these are tools that I apply on my investigations. They're wonderful tools. Because you can be open-minded and take everything in, and you can use those experiences with each place that you go. In closing, I would like to say that we've accomplished a lot with our website. We did actually open up the Paranormal Ghost Society Personals. And you know, some people might say, how lame, it's all about Lord Rick meeting women. If I told you I didn't like women, I'd be lying to you. I'm not going to tell you I don't like women. I love women. Because it's a woman's heart that makes life so much more wonderful. The woman's smile that makes life worth living for. Nothing like the tenderness of a lady to comfort you when you come home from an investigation, or to hug and kiss you when you walk out of that door. So I'm not going to lie to you. But the Paranormal Ghost Society Personals is something extra for you subscribers. It's always free to browse the ads. You can browse. However, if you want to post an ad yourself, you have to become a subscriber. It's not a bad deal. By becoming a yearly subscriber, you get full access to our archives, which has over 50,000 photos. It has hundreds of historical pieces written by me, and it's very interesting. Photos of each place. There's even paranormal photos, and we got some good ones. You also get access to the Paracomedy page, which, you know, the Paracomedy page, you know, is our way of entertaining our guests. Some of the things that happen, some of the bloopers are hilarious. We have some good ones for the last 5 years. Entertainment. And lastly, now you get to post a personal ad, which, you know, on most dating sites is going to run you that for a buck. So basically part of your subscription, if you subscribe, goes towards that. And as long as you have a subscription, as long as your ad will run for it. So, I mean, basically you're just helping pay for the site, you know, the space that's used. and for the services that I provide. There's nothing wrong with that. So I think it's really wonderful that we just open this up. It's a nice little feature. You know, it's there so others can get to know others. So if you're a subscriber, feel free to forward me an ad and I will post it. You know, we get thousands of hits a day on our site. You're going to make friends. You're going to meet nice people. You might meet your soulmate. Maybe you'll just meet a casual encounter. But at least the person that you're going to meet is going to have a similar interest to you, which is the paranormal. So that just opened as well. And of course, this is our first show that we're putting on. And I guess I could call it a show because normally what I do when I address my group is that I address them to the forum itself. But now